And we are now live. All right.
Yay.
Fair warning, by the way, there is a massive thunderstorm passing through my area, and my lights have flickered once, so I may not be prepared for podcast. It's waiting for light to go out on me, so we'll continue on as best we can.
All right. Well, that's the most we can ask for you, buddy. Or from you, I should say.
Right. Everybody at the top of the document ready to roll?
Yep.
All right. Where's my Audacity start time? Is 1:40, give or take. All right. We will start in 5, 4, 3, 2. Greetings, heroes. Welcome to Prepare for Combat episode number 14 for June 11th, 2014. This is Accuzod. Joining me from deep inside the rabbit hole is Alakaz.
It's dark down here.
And coming at us from the second star to the right, we have our special guest, Ro.
I don't know if I'm that special after being here 4 times.
Yeah, we're going to stop calling you a guest pretty soon because you're always here. So, unfortunately...
I think we're just a week or 2 away from you sending the contract.
Pretty much. The check will be in the mail.
He's saying that line again. Don't trust him. Don't trust him!
Unfortunately, Jasmine could not be with us tonight. She's out on special assignment. She actually has some awesome stuff going on in her personal life. If you follow Jasmine's Twitter feed, and you should, I don't know if she's announced it yet or will be, or if I'm even allowed to mention that something's going on, but she is, you do want to jump in and follow her, what's going on in her life. Hopefully we will get her back next week, and she can talk about it or not. I don't want to intrude on people's privacy, but she's not here this week. So, I'll throw the question out to you guys. I'll start with you, Alakaz. How was your week? What have you been up to?
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con, how'd that go?
It went really, really well. And I'm not going to talk too much about it because you have to turn into Geektopia on this Saturday to find out. Lots and lots of fun, lots and lots of hours, and I need a vacation for my vacation.
That's a good vacation when you have to take time off.
And by the way, met Bruce Campbell.
Very nice.
I now have that under my resume. Also met John Rhys Davies, met John Ratzenberger, and Ben got to meet Danny Glover.
Outstanding.
So you did a lot of work on your narrowing down the degrees from Kevin Bacon to a lot of people in celebrities as far as that goes.
Yes, very, very much so. Very much so. I think I'm 1 removed from Kevin Bacon at this point.
Nice.
Which just means we need Kevin Bacon to come to the next Comic-Con and complete the circle.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Ro, what have you been up to this week? Or, Guy, we missed you last week, so you have 2 weeks to report on.
Oh, a little bit of everything. I mean, I'm playing a little bit of almost every Blizzard game except for StarCraft, really. When it comes to Hearthstone and Heroes, I'm not playing a ton of them, but I'm always playing enough to make sure that I get my dailies done, because I'm having played World of Warcraft for years and years and being raised on doing your dailies. I find that's continuing into these other games, so I make sure I try to get my dailies done. I hit level 20 in Heroes of the Storm, which is
Nice.
kind of a big deal, and I thought that was cool. And I'd have to say besides playing the Warlords of Draenor Alpha, which I'm also in as far as World of Warcraft goes, that's taken up a lot of my time. But just earlier today, I've got a relevant story here. So Heroes of the Storm, I've been playing Lily a lot when I play support, and we're going to talk about her later in the show. But I had this amazing game where we were down by 2 levels in Blackheart's Bay, ended up coming back and winning the thing. On 4 occasions, I ended up popping the 1,000 jugs, so your R ability. I ended up popping that and saving people from a sliver of health, like 3 or 4 times. My heals were, I was in a zone or something. I've never played like I played earlier today. And when that game was over, I had people talking to me and they were sending me whispers saying stuff like, "I've never seen anyone play Lily that well before. You're freaking amazing." I'm like, yeah, I don't know what happened, because usually I'm pretty terrible.
Maybe you found your character finally.
I mean, I've always liked Lily. I mean, I've always thought that she was a great support. I think part of it is I'm just learning to pay more attention to the map, to pay more attention to where other heroes are, who needs help, and I'm trying to do my best to stick with who I need to stick with, but also dash to another area of the map as fast as possible if I see something's about to go down.
Yeah, that's one thing. I know we'll talk about it, but that's one thing Lee's really good at is team fight healing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so all right, for that, we'll just go ahead and jump into this week's news so we can move on and talk about Lee because I want to talk about her. So, first up, a couple of quick things in this week's news. Of course, yesterday was a new patch day. There was no patch. They just changed the free hero rotation. This week's free heroes are Falstad, Muradin, Nazeebo, which is a witch doctor. I had to go look that up because I was like, I don't remember that hero. Tassadar, Zeratul, and at level 7 you get Arthas.
Okay. So one thing I want to do, and I talked about it last show, is I always ask, what do you guys want to play? Who are you playing?
And so I totally forgot what I said last week.
Tyrael was what you stated, Zod. Did you play Tyrael?
I'm drawing a complete blank. Which one's Tyrael?
The angel with the sword.
No, I did not. I did not get to play Tyrael this week.
Okay. So
Darn.
Zod failed on Tyrael.
I failed my mission.
So Zod, this week, who are you playing?
I think I'm gonna try Arthas. I've given Arthas a few runs. I did enough to do the play 2 games for the Hero Quest, but I didn't really try to play to win. I just was playing to knock out 2 games. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna say, if I'm writing this down so I don't forget it, I'm gonna be playing Arthas this week. I'll be able to report on Arthas next week.
Okay. Ro, I do not have you from last week, so I need to know, Ro, in case you come back and we have you on contract.
Uh-huh.
I think he will be.
Who are you playing this week out of the free heroes?
Well, I already own Nazeebo, and Nazeebo is probably my favorite specialist character, so I just kind of go to him as default whenever I'm feeling like playing a specialist. So if we... Yes. So if we exclude Nazeebo from the rest of those heroes, I have not played Falstad at all, and I know that Falstad is kind of unique in as far as his mobility goes to be able to go from one area of the map to the other faster than most characters can. So I think that would be the one I would want to try to play a little bit more and get a feel for. So I'll say Falstad.
Okay, I've got you down as Falstad.
I actually got to play Falstad this week, or yesterday. I was knocking out my dailies. It's the first time I'd ever played him. I did the do 2 for the Hero Quest.
Yeah.
I really like Falstad. I think I've got 12,000 gold built up. I think he's gonna be my next purchase. I just like the way he plays. All right, Alakaz, who are you playing this week?
Well, so last week I had said Uther. And I played 2 games with Uther. And I suck as a healer. I am great DPSing with Uther, suck as a healer.
All right, so you're not allowed to play Uther when we play.
Okay. Who am I going to play this week? I actually am going to go to, I believe, Muradin.
Muradin, no, good one.
I've not played Muradin. I know a few people who have, and they love him to death. So I am going to test out some Muradin action.
All right, so next week we all have our heroes to report back on
off
this week's rotation. All right, also in the news this week, just a quick mention for those who may run into this. You may or may not see this. There have been reports that as of the last patch, as of yesterday, people are getting the heroes icon in their Battle.net client, and it will actually let them download the game, but the play button is grayed out. It turns out, if this happens, Blizzard is actually getting ready for open beta. Now, they haven't made any dates. There's no announcements. They haven't mentioned it at all. In fact, they only mentioned it because people reported this problem. But they are beginning to let people pre-download the game in preparation for the beta. So if you see the Heroes icon in your Battle.net client, doesn't necessarily mean you're in the alpha. You want to jump into your log into your account at Battle.net and look to see whether Heroes is one of the games you're listed as licensed for, because it could be misleading.
Now,
so that's...
Do you guys find it interesting that we're at this step where they're allowing people to download the content early for a potential open beta? Because to be quite honest, I didn't think we would get to the point of being in a beta till September or October.
I have to admit, I wasn't expecting open beta until BlizzCon. I was expecting them to say, starting today, you can now play Heroes of the Storm beta, but that's just my personal belief.
I think realistically, Heroes of the Storm launches at BlizzCon, so I'm not too surprised.
Do you think you mean really launch?
Yeah.
Out of beta? All right.
Like Mike Morheim says, and it's available now.
I think it's going to be Warlords of Draenor beta, Heroes of the Storm now.
That would be awesome. I mean, no, they're doing a Heroes of the Storm tournament at BlizzCon, and so it'd be horrible to do, horrible, but I could definitely see them putting a big promotion and push behind it as a competitive game, and then making it available for everyone to play.
And that's also why I think they're going open beta, is they're trying to get as many people out there so that they can pack that tournament. I think they're going to hang their hats on that tournament because really I think they're going to say, okay, Warlords is in beta, we're getting it ready for its final push towards launch a month or two later, and we're going to announce alpha for StarCraft.
I definitely hope so. You mean for Warlords? What, you mean alpha for StarCraft or for Warlords?
Alpha for the next expansion of StarCraft.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because they're already in alpha for Warlords. I forgot. I actually got about 5 minutes. I also got invited into the alpha. I'm sorry, Al. And I got about 5 minutes.
That means that I should be next.
Yeah, that's right. I think it goes Ro, me, then you. I think that's how it worked for Heroes. So Ro knows people. So Ro, give him a call. Let him know Al's not in yet, would you?
Okay.
So, all right. So that's the news item. So, again, don't get overly excited if you see the Battle.net client. Actually, wait to see if you can click play. Again, I checked my wife's account this morning. She did not have the icon visible, so I'm not sure what makes it visible when it's not ready for you or not, but many people have reported it. So we'll move on to this week's main discussion topic, which was taken from a post on the Heroes forums, which I thought was rather informative. The post is entitled F Murky. And you can kind of guess what the F is. It's
Free Murky?
It's the claim of the original poster that Murky is overpowered. And having played Murky, in fact, I'll throw it out, it's LL Amazurg? Lamazurg. Okay, I can read it. Okay, so Lamazurg made the post saying that Murky is overpowered. And I have to kind of sort of agree. If you get somebody who's actually got some time in with Murky and has been practicing playing them, that really just trying to combat Murky's relentless assault on your towers is rather problematic.
I think that Murky is overpowered past 10. Under 10, he's got some chops, but once he hits 10, that's when the real S hits the fan.
That's what we're going with just letters. Yeah, good call.
Yeah. I know I was playing with Alanya or Ben Monday night. We were testing out my sound setup, the whole 9 yards. We decided to play some Heroes with it. We went in a game. He was Murky, and I think I was Uther. Again, bad idea. And we were able. It was the Golem. We were doing the Golems. We had our Golem was probably 30 to 40. Skulls less each time, and we had it run 3 times. So 3 times the Golem showed up.
You got it. And you guys were on the losing end of the Golem fight.
Yes. Yeah. We almost beat them 4 levels down. They only beat us with their tower still having 20% left on it.
Wow.
Because solely of Murky.
Yeah, the March of the Murlocs or...
He hit his egg right by their base. As soon as he died, he immediately would pop back up, drop everything he could, march Murlocs, do whatever he needed to after 10. And, I mean, it just literally was devastation after devastation. If our team was coordinated enough to follow him through on a strike and push a massive push through, we probably would have won.
Yep. So, Ro, have you played the Murky yet?
I played a little bit of Murky, but to be honest, I haven't run into Murky in too many games. From the games that I've seen, half the time the person knows how to play Murky and half the time they don't. I will definitely agree that for those people that know how to play Murky, if you are in a match and the other team has Murky, your team has to adjust its entire strategy to take Murky into consideration. That being said, I don't necessarily consider him OP because I have been in games where I've seen Murky not played well and where I've seen a team with Murky lose. So it's really a matter of, to me, it feels more like a matter of how well can you play the character. Now, again, I haven't had too many experiences with Murky to really say, oh yeah, he's definitely OP. And I mean, obviously, the folks at Blizzard, they're watching these matches, they're checking them out, and if adjustments need to be made, they'll make them. I just think it's kind of one of those things where since you don't run into Murky too many times, you're not prepared to adjust your strategy when you see, oh, the other team has a Murky, now we need to designate someone to hunt for the egg. And like one thing that's mentioned in this thread here, a lot of people don't realize that if you have a stealth character, your stealth character can actually sneak into the opposing person's base. Towers will not fire at a stealth character. Now, the core can detect a stealth character, but towers won't. So if a Murky character is laying their egg just inside the base, a stealth character can take out the egg by, sneaking in there and looking for the egg. Of course, that's a minute or two of time spent hunting down that egg that could possibly be spent elsewhere on the map.
And I'd absolutely agree with you, Ro. I know that I played a game, I want to say it was Monday as well, where there was somebody with a Murky. The Murky was in our group, and the chat, now this also goes to how poisonous the pond has become, is what I will call it.
Sure.
Oh, we've got Murky, effing guarantee. We're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win. Lost 5 levels. So that 3-level cap that we talked about last week, ain't happening. We were 5 levels down. And realistically what it was is we had somebody who AFK'd at the base. I mean, this was the match where if anything could go wrong, it did.
No.
Somebody AFK'd at the base. Murky basically ran out, and who knows where he ran off to, type of idea. We totally lost him. We had somebody who was new playing a character that they didn't know what they were doing with it. And then there was basically, with that, there's 2 others, and we're on the Cursed Hollow. So it's collecting the tributes.
Right.
Didn't go well. Did not go well.
Yeah, I think Blizzard, they met their design goal, making him paper thin and relentless at the same time. I don't think he's overpowered. I just think when he's well played, he is very well played, which is the same pretty much for any hero in the game. It definitely puts a new spin on the genre of the hero types. But I'd love to see what they're going to do, because the March of the Murlocs is just devastating to structures.
Well, and I mean, I think maybe a longer cooldown on it would be the only thing that they would look at doing to kind of bring him in line.
Well, we just dropped the video on my end. I don't know if you guys dropped that as well.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, I noticed.
Did you guys drop out, or was it just me?
No, just
I
you.
see that we're still live.
We're still live. It's just you're not on the
1922. Okay. All right. So you want to go back to what you were saying before?
So I mean, I really just think to help with Murky, maybe a longer cooldown on the March of the Murlocs, making it so it's not like he's literally popping out of his eggs, and guess what? March of Murlocs!
All right, so that is the discussion we had on Murky. Now I want to move on to the resource spotlight for this week, where we highlight someplace else on the internet where you can find out more about Heroes of the Storm besides this podcast. This week I found an amazing a guide. A player by the name of Maelstrom, not Maelstrom, but Maelstrom, has posted an Alpha Hero Newcomers FAQ, I'll say that correctly, an Alpha Newcomers FAQ on the Blizzard forums for Heroes of the Storm, which is several posts long, and it basically answers all the questions a new Alpha player would want to know. The differences of the play styles, the types of games, the matches, and he goes far beyond the very simple basic things, which Blizzard covers pretty well on their own, but he gets more in a detailed question and answers things that you really want to know as a new Alpha player, things that, I've been learning since playing, and things I would have loved to have known, several weeks ago or months ago now when I started playing the alpha. So just want to give a shout out to Maelstrom and recommend anyone who is already in the alpha or is expecting to get or hoping to get into the alpha soon, go to Maelstrom's Alpha Newcomers Fact. It's in the general section of the Heroes of the Storm forums, and there's also a link in the show notes. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to read that yet.
And actually I did, and you were nice enough to say, hey, we're going to mention it. And he even came back and said thanks, but his big thing that he was looking for is feedback. He wants feedback on what he's doing so that he can make it better, and I think that's really cool. And especially with dealing with some of the muddied water of the pond, as I claimed it, it's nice to see somebody wanting to give some of those things back. So it was really nice to see those.
Definitely. All right. So next we will move on to Hero Spotlight. Alakaz, who is our hero this week?
It's Lily!
Yay!
So, Ro, you had your Lily story, but
yes.
we hope to hear more about Lily. As we know, it is Lily Stormstout. I also picked Lily because she, last week she got her first new skin, and I got to look at it this last week, and it is just too darn cute.
Butterfly net. I love the butterfly net.
I know. So she is Chen Stormstout's niece. She's considered a world wanderer, but she is in the game as a support class. So she's got some very unique skills. So her combat trait, is after being hit by an enemy attack, Lily runs 20% faster for 1 second. So she can run a little bit quicker.
I actually didn't realize that, and I thought it was just me. I was like, I'm running away from people very well. So I'm glad that wasn't just me.
Zod, you have just learned the art of running away.
I probably should read what all the little icons and buttons are on the screen, but I just like running out there.
So her main abilities that you start off with is Healing Brew. Tosses a refreshing cup of blue to the lowest health ally within range. It prioritizes heroes over minion, and it restores their health. You've also got Cloud Serpent, which she summons a baby Cloud Serpent, also very cute, which will actually help attack nearby enemies. And then she gets Blinding Wind, where she casts Blinding Wind at the 3 nearest enemy heroes, dealing damage. Minions will be hit as well if there's not enough heroes in the area. And then go ahead.
I say the best thing about her two of those abilities is that you do not have to target anyone. Her heal and her attack. Yeah. They'll both automatically choose who to heal and who to attack. So all you really got to do is kind of run around everybody, try not to die, and just keep those buttons. Yeah. And even the one that you do target, the dragon, which will help boost the DPS of the character you tag it to. I think it's her level 6 ability will give a heal to the person you cast on as well. So nice. One auto target heal, one targeted heal, and then the auto targeted DPS, which I think is just over. Yeah. Again, I hate to say overpowered, but man, it's powerful.
I'd have to say, as far as the ultimate abilities go with Water Dragon and Jug of 1,000 Cups, if you're playing Lily as the support, I'd say 9 times out of 10 you take Jug of 1,000 Cups. The only time I could see taking Water Dragon is if you are in a weird comp with 2 supports, then you could possibly cross over into Water Dragon and do a bit more of a kind of a hybrid build. But Jug of 1,000 Cups is so strong, as I mentioned earlier on the show. Especially if you are in a team battle and you have 2 or 3 people along with you in close range that are at half health or lower, you pop that jug and suddenly they're right back up to full.
Full health, baby. So yes, so Jug of 1,000 Cups and Water Dragon are 2 heroics that you get to choose. Jug of 1,000 Cups heals, while Water Dragon is actually a DPS spell. And I agree with you absolutely, Ro. I'm just looking at a Jug of 1,000 Cups. And I mean, the cooldown on it is not bad. It's 50 seconds. It's really not a bad cooldown. Water Dragon is just a little bit smaller at 45 seconds. But still, just you throw that out there. And I love how it picks the lowest hero. Yep. So it's not like, oh, God, I'm now going to target Zod. Oh, wait, he just got health globes and self-healed himself. Crap. Now I just wasted a heal. No, it's picking where it needs to go, and it's not a concern of what's going on. And I absolutely love that.
Yeah, I don't. I don't think you mentioned it, but when you hit her ultimate, the 1,000 jugs, that's a totally different show. Sorry, my brain went
Jug
someplace
of
else.
1,000 cups.
Thank you. It puts a big circle on the ground around Lily, and every hero inside that circle is considered a target for this heal that shoots out. I think it's once a second. If you remember, if you got it in front of you, they'll get a massive heal once every second, and just continues to run for a period of time. And if you get to level 20, you can actually have it where it does twice as many, or 2 every second, and everyone around you is just continually topped off and healed up. So it's perfect for a team fight.
Well, what I love is now her ultimate tier, her level 7 tier, Jug of 1,000,000 cups.
Yep.
So it throws out twice as many cups over the same duration.
Right.
And that's just insane.
It is when I play Lily, I mean, just going through it. So my tip for someone who's just getting started on Lily, as far as going through each of these tier abilities go, I usually pick up Mass Vortex as the first ability, which lets your Blinding Wind hit 5 things. And the reason why is because I usually pair up that Blinding Wind with, later on in the Tier 5 talent, I pair it up with having the wind slow targets by 25% for 2 seconds. Yeah, hindering winds. Yeah, so I find those two together are really potent, especially in a team battle when you find that someone's low and they're trying to run away, they chase them down and you pop that. That's really going to help. Then as far as my Tier 2 and Tier 3 abilities, I almost always go for Bringer of Gifts and First Sip. So Bringer of Gifts, what that does is your Cloud Serpent ability, whenever you give someone a Cloud Serpent, you're also healing them. So it's an additional direct heal. And unlike having a Smart Heal where it just heals the lowest person, this is a direct heal that you can put on someone, and it gives them a little buddy to fight alongside them. And First Sip, the Tier 3 ability, which I always tend to choose, it restores an additional health to Lily when you cast it, so you never have to worry about basically healing yourself. Being support, if you're going up against a good team knows that in a team battle you want to take out the support first, if at all possible. So you'll be able to help keep yourself up while still tossing healing to other people on your team. Then Tier 4 is Jug of 1,000 Cups. Tier 5, like I said, is Hindering Winds. Tier 6, myself personally, I tend to go for 2 for 1, which allows your Healing Brew to target the 2 lowest health people nearby. And I go for that because I always try to get myself into team battle positions with Lily. There are definitely other options that are worth considering, like the one that removes all crowd control effects, Herbal Cleanse. And Tier 7 for me, I go Jug of 1,000,000 Cups for that double jug. So for me, with Lily, I always tend to go for a very strong healing build, but also making sure that the wind ability targets more things and can slow things down eventually.
Nice.
Yeah, and Lily definitely makes the difference for a team fight. If you're playing against a team with Lily, you want to take Lily out first. Period. I don't think there's any other choice, because if you don't take Lily out, they're going to get you out.
Well, but see, I'm going to go back to, I'm not sure Lily's OP. I think if somebody knows how to play her and play her well, she can be a force to be reckoned with. But I know I've been in a few battles where somebody, I think it was the first time they're trying Lily, and it wasn't a big deal at all for us to steamroll it. They just really didn't know how to play the character, and we just really were like, I don't even have to worry about Lily because she's not doing crap.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and there's actually another thread on the Heroes of the Storm forums about whether or not people think Lily is OP, and I'll have a link to that in the show notes as well.
Yeah. Again, I think we're looking at both OPs. We're seeing 2 classes that I'd say are fairly easy to master a very good build on it, or a very damaging or effective build.
Good
so
word.
I think that people are frustrated because they're going up against they're seeing this more often than not.
I'm surprised we haven't heard Rainer's OP. I mean, have you been under that Hyperion? Man.
Unfortunately,
and everyone can play him. You run into him all the time.
Unfortunately, yes, I've been under the Hyperion. It hurts.
Does need to get out of the fire.
But I mean, you can look at any one. If somebody, I mean, how many times on the show have we talked about, Kerrigan is OP. She's destroyed me.
Nova's OP.
But I think again, it goes to, can you play that character? Can you play that class? So.
Yeah, and as far as, even look at Warriors, no one really says Diablo is OP, but if Diablo's my go-to warrior character, and I like to think that I do pretty well at playing Diablo and picking the right kind of talents to make sure that he's just really helping with pushing a lane. And I rarely see people play Diablo, I think, well. It's all about understanding what talents and abilities that characters have, and getting the most bang for your buck out of them. Just understanding how the synergy works.
And how you play. You play with that. Because, if your play style, like, I will say it, although I'm a tank, I'm a DPS tank. I go in and I want to feel the battle. So when I'm playing Tyrael, which is my main go-to warrior, I pick some DPS talents because I really want to feel that I'm effective in doing some damage. So I can take a beating, yes, but I also can give a beating, and I think I play that well. That's a strength of mine.
Yeah, actually, I'm just making a note here. I think next week or the week after, we probably should have a discussion about tanks and their role in the game, because I personally have problems with that. So, but I won't burn up a lot of time with that because we're almost at the end of the show. Anything else you guys want to throw out?
No, I like what we talked about. I think this was a really strong show of we got some great forum threads. We had some really good discussion around, and I loved where this went.
All right, and I'm happy we kept it short. So
yes.
All right, so I will call that our show for this week. If you want to follow the show, you can follow us on Twitter at Prepare4Combat with the number 4. You can email us. Please email us at podcast@prepareforcombat.net. Or visit our website where you can watch our past shows or follow our news feed where we try to keep up with what's going on in the game at prepareforcombat.net. And you can subscribe to the show on iTunes and Stitcher. So, Alakaz, where can people find you on the web?
So obviously you can check out my other show at geektopiashow.com, and you're going to want to do that because there's all sorts of cool stuff from Comic-Con. But if you really want to just follow me and see what's going on with Alakaz, you can find me at ALACHAS. All
right, and Ro, how do people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Rowow, which is spelled RHOWOW. You can also find my solo podcast, realm-maintenance.com, which is a podcast that talks about other podcasts, specifically for WoW and other Blizzard games, including Heroes of the Storm, and kind of a tie-in here on my show next week. I'm actually interviewing these two guys. So, yeah.
What a coincidence, huh?
How about that?
That's awesome. All right, as for myself, you can follow me. I am on Twitter at Accuzod, ACUZOD, or my website, accuzod.com. In case you want to follow Jasmine, because again, she has got some awesome things going on, and you want to follow her, she is at IRLJasmine, and her website is IRLJasmine.com. And with that, you are now prepared for combat. I will shut the broadcast off. Thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.